my long-awaited appearance on the "I Love You, Say It Back." I really gotta ask how the name of this got started. This is definitely a breakup. That's a breakup. Say it back. That's definitely a breakup podcast title.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is I Love You, Say It Back. It is a podcast. We're still on tour. This is episode 4. Let's get it going. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back in studio for this podcast, a special occasion. You know, I've had this stuff in the back of my car, and we've been on this little tour, hitting all these different spots, and I'm gonna hit some different spots. I had to bring all the equipment from the truck, so that's how you know this was a special guest, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching on YouTube, to my left, you see the one and only. You've seen him on We Own the Laughs, Netflix and HBO on his specials, Tyson Paul. Oh wait, was that?
People gonna really think that I was on Netflix.
Oh, you're not? You ain't got it like that?
Nah, not yet. People gonna be like, they're gonna be really checking on Netflix because like, when people say Netflix credits, like people do check. They like, hey, I try to put his name in and I ain't see nothing. So he said, I wasn't Netflix. You know what? I'm a Netflix subscriber. So you can say that. Like, I got a Netflix account.
Hack his Netflix account. That's where you can find him. But ladies and gentlemen, that is Tyson Paul. You've seen him around town. He puts on together some of the best comedy shows in Bakersfield. We Own the Laughs. So excited. We just did a show as of now, was it about a week and a half ago now?
Yeah.
A week and a half ago at Sonder. Before we get into all the good stuff, do want to remind you, if you're tuning in for the first time because you're a fan of Tyson, listen, I want to encourage you to please hit like, subscribe, do all that good stuff on our page. Keep up with everything we got going on. You can hear more from Tyson. We got people that we are hitting on this tour, Vecchio's Pizza Place, all these great places. Check us out on there, wherever, if you listen on Spotify or on Apple. Hit that subscribe button. Keep up with everything. Also, follow us on our socials at ILY Say It Back Pod. I'm at Vic D Radio. You can follow Tyson where?
At Comic Tyson Paul or at We Own the Laughs.
Beautiful. Let's get into it. Okay, Tyson Paul, you're a comedian.
Yes.
Okay, make us laugh.
Make you laugh? No.
Don't you hate that shit? Don't people tell you that? They're like, okay, you're a comedian. Come on now, make me laugh then if you're a comedian. People do that.
I think that question is basically, it's not overrated. It's not overused too, because like anybody that finds out somebody's a comic, like of course there's like, yo, make me laugh right now. So is the question like kind of irritating? Yeah, but like it comes with the territory. That's like asking if an NBA player like, oh, you play basketball? Like, you want to play me one-on-one right now?
Make a free throw.
Yeah, like you want to shoot this shot in the basket? It just comes with the territory. I do see a lot of comics that get like extremely irritated when they're like, what am I, just like a puppet for you just to do it on the spot? But no, I mean, you could do a joke. Like usually if I really like,
how do you respond to that?
Oh, I tell the dirtiest joke I can find.
Never mind.
Like started off with like, well, it's like, well, if it sucks, like worst case scenario, I have to take all my clothes off. Yeah. It's like, but if it's good,
and nobody wants that,
you have to take your clothes off. So usually, but no, being a comic, it just comes with the territory. Because the worst case scenario, they don't ask you at all. Like they can sit there and be like, "Oh, you're a comic. Didn't really notice. Didn't think you were funny. So I'm not gonna ask you to tell me a joke." So you gotta take it.
It's a funny question because even I get it with like, you know, doing podcasts or doing radio or whatever. Yeah. People think like, "Okay, come on, you're the guy who always talks." It's like, bro, it doesn't work like that. Like it does not work. Like I'm not just gonna be funny or you know. I bet you in most cases when you're around a group of people, you're probably like not one of the louder ones or the most, you know, leading the conversation. Is that true or no?
Oh, no, I don't lead conversations, but I get included in a lot. Like if I'm in a group and then people find out that I'm a comic and somebody needs like a public speaking appearance, I immediately get asked. They're like, oh, like you can do it. Like, you know, you tell jokes for a living. You talk in front of people for a living, so you could do it. So that's usually what I get. I try not to like really tell people like or start conversations or basically be over the top personality wise. But like, I mean, when people find out, like they do talk to you and ask you a bunch of questions, and you gotta talk.
Let me ask you this: when it comes to this, is an observation that I made from kind of getting to know you.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most fascinating things, and I've even told C's this, you're an introvert.
Yeah.
You're a shy person. You're not much of a talker, but then you get on the stage and then you totally transform into a comedian. Talk to me about how to me you seem like a shy person, introverted, but then you get on. Is it like a character? How does that happen for you?
I wouldn't say it's not a character. It's just like, I mean, it's just like a switch that comes on and stuff. But yeah, I try not to basically, like, if I'm comfortable like with friends or something like that, then yeah, I'm pretty like loud and boisterous. But yeah, when I'm around people that like you kind of don't know, or you kind of don't really want them to like kind of know you, yeah, you don't really say much. You just and then on top of that, usually when you guys see me, it's like we're putting a show on or something like that. And people always are trying to talk to you. And I learned like a long time ago from like trying to put together parties and stuff. It's best like not to be like the person like with that wants to have the light shine on them, because you got to take all the problems that come with it. But if you're shy or like don't really say much, like people don't really ask you questions, and like everything runs more smoothly and stuff. So
with We Own the Laughs, how long have you been doing that now?
So we started We On The Laughs, I want to say in 2018. So we used to, the way it started was basically from a failed show beforehand, because we used to do shows every first Friday of the month. And
where was that?
Just either around Bakersfield. Usually it was like at this place, the Nile. It used to be
the Nile's
there.
huge though. That's crazy.
It was, and then we moved to, I want to say a place off of in the Ice House.
It was a Sizzler, is what it was.
No, not the Sizzler. We the Element venue. And then we moved, I want to say, to over by Casa Tequila. And then I tried to do like something where I wanted to do it every first Friday, but like in different cities. And then the first city I tried to do it in like failed miserably. And it failed, and then it would turn around. The next show failed miserably in Bakersfield, so I couldn't call it that anymore, because then the reputation started. I felt like the reputation was going to be like, oh, this is like terrible.
We've seen this show before.
Yeah, so I was sitting there.
What was it called then?
First Friday Funnies.
Oh, yes. That name was already a failure. I could have told you that shit.
It worked for a while.
First Friday Funnies, come on.
I was going with the First Friday theme, because I think back when we started it, because I want to say like the First Friday's theme, like it worked well for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And it was all focused on downtown Bakersfield, how they used to do their First Friday like street event. And basically it was like, okay, we wanted people to come from the street event to our show, and it worked for a while and stuff. And then like I said, yeah, you get bigger than your imagination, and or just basically you're bigger than your abilities at the time. And it just didn't work. And I had to basically eat crow and figure something else out. And I didn't want to quit comedy. So, and I wanted to keep doing shows, but I knew from other failures in life, like that all you had to do was like basically bide your time, like plan a little bit better, rename it, rebrand it and stuff. Cause actually it's kind of like how we were talking about earlier about clubs and how they change their names like every 6 months to
keep it fresh.
So kind of did that, and then did the first show, and the first show did well. And then just went from there. And then now we're basically doing shows basically all over the U.S. now.
So if you were at the last show that we were at, Tyson went on stage and he said something very interesting, and I just wanted to point it out. He said the only way you can get on Vic's podcast is if you suck his dick.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
look who's on the podcast now, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. All I'm saying, you see this big smile on my face? Things are great over here. You set yourself up for that.
I think I meant that as like if you were a woman.
I think you were trying to speak it into existence.
No, I'm not.
You did not say man or woman. I'm just saying.
I did. I think I literally did say woman because I was like only. First of all, the name of the podcast. The name of the podcast is "I Love You, Say It Back." So definitely, this podcast was created after a breakup. So I don't think it was with a man. I think it was with a woman. And on top of that, I've seen Vic out and about, and also at his events. Nothing but females, so I don't really see where a man is in sight.
I'm telling you, we have an 80% female listener base,
Exactly.
which I love, and that comes from the radio station, my incredible good looks, and how funny I am, which is something that brings it. No, but the truth is, I've never told you the story of "I Love You, Say It Back."
No.
So okay, I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast itself.
Yeah.
So listen to this. So we were giving away this is back when I was doing my radio station days. We were giving away one of the biggest giveaways we'd ever done. Garth Brooks was coming to Bakersfield, the Crystal Palace, and it was like only 500. It was a free show. The only way you can get in was to win the tickets, right? So phone lines were going crazy. Dudes, I mean, that their audience is oil field workers, tough, rugged, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I understood my audience, and there were dudes, and I'd be like, "Congratulations, you're caller 10," and they'd be like, "Yeah, Vic, thank you so much," and I'd be like, "Hell yeah, brother, I love you," and they'd be like, and they'd be like, "Thanks a lot, Vic," and I'd be like, no, like, I just said I love you, and I'm giving you tickets to Garth Brooks. You're not going to say it back. And then that started the whole thing of like the awkward, like the tension where they did not want to say I love you back because it's like a guy thing, big macho oil field worker be like, "Brother, I just told you I loved you and I'm giving you Garth Brooks," and they'd be like, "Thank you, Vic." People would call in after that and be like, "That is absolutely hilarious." So it just kind of became a vulnerable, like little thing, like, "I love you, say it back." So then we took that and just kind of ran with it, but nothing to do with anything, no breakups, no nothing. But I think the story of it is even better.
Actually, funny thing about that is like I'm like one of those guys. Like
If I told you right now I love you, would you say it back?
No,
Come on.
Nope. You know
But
what?
I'm having you on the podcast.
Literally wouldn't. Something would have to something really serious would have to happen. Like you lost
Like us kissing.
No, like you lost basically like all your family and like I'd probably say it like under my breath and so because like I mean I'm one of those
I said
people
it when you were sucking my dick. I was
see,
you know what, Tyson, I do love
that's
you.
Weird. No, because actually I mean I say that me and my twin, we actually have that. We've had that conversation before too. Like we think it's weird, like when people want you to say like "I love you" to them, because one, we feel like our personality already lets it be known that yes, we love that person. But people like because my brother's wife like tries to tell us to tell each other that we love each other like all the time. She's like, "Well, tell your brother that you love him," and I was like, "No." Nah,
Every time you hang up the phone, I want to hear it.
We never even say bye. I'll call you back.
What do you say? You're like, "That's kind of gay." That's this
no.
motherfucker looks exactly like
Yeah,
me.
no, and then what? Because even more of a conversation. Because we talk all the time, and we actually like agreed on the same thing. We don't like when another man like sends us a heart on a message. Like we think.
Wait, didn't I just? I think I just hearted one of your.
I'll tell it. I tell like guys all the time. Like I'll be like, "Hey, bro, like do not heart this message. Like give me a thumbs up or something like that."
I just hearted the last.
Yeah, I'll tell you it's weird. I'll be like, "Hey, man, you ain't gotta heart that." Like, cause I got friends, like, cause you have that one guy friend that. Basically like hearts every message that you send them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, "Hey, are we going to get wings after this?"
Heart.
Yeah, heart. Like, yo, man, you ain't got to do that, dude. I don't really like that. Like, I'm not trying to have sex with you.
Would you rather get a heart or a thumbs up? Because a thumbs up to me is a big
thumbs
fuck
up,
you.
Thumbs up all day. Give me the thumbs
hell
up.
nah.
Give me
Thumbs
the
up is
thumbs
like.
up. Like if you're another,
I'm like, all right, fuck you. Don't want to go.
If you're another man, just give me a thumbs up, man. Don't send me a heart, because then it's weird. I'll be like, yo, like. Like now I just think you're attracted to me and you like want to have sex with me.
Maybe I do.
No.
Anyways, you have a twin. That is talk to me. I've never had anybody on the podcast who has a twin. I'm curious. Is it true that you can like? There's like that twin. What is it? Telepathy or whatever the hell it is. Is that real shit?
I mean, I guess it just depends on the occasion. Maybe. Like, I mean, I get like. do people because people ask me all the time, like, oh, like, do you know when he's sad, or do you know when he's happy, or do you know
horny?
Yeah, or something like that. You know, I do get people that ask me that a lot, but no,
We're
I
both
don't know.
like two girls synced up on their periods. Like,
no,
when
I
she's
don't.
horny, I'm horny.
No, like, oh, do you guys both have bad days at the same time? Like, or I get like, you get every twin question in the book. Like, oh, the one that I get that like people are always surprised that it like with that answer is, did you guys like play tricks on like other people? And it's like, no, we didn't. What? If I was a twin, I would play so many tricks on people. I was like, no,
Showing up to the wrong classroom.
We did in kindergarten. We showed up to each other's different class, because like when we were in kindergarten, my mom put us in different classes because she wanted us to be more individual. But one day, I swear, we tell this story all the time, and she swears this like never happens. But we switched classes because she told us to switch classes. So in kindergarten, we switched classes.
So your mom was a real prankster here, not y'all.
Maybe, but no, she won't admit it. She'll never admit this story. She's like, I never told you, because we actually got suspended from school for not going back to our class. So basically, we switched classes, and like the way the classroom setup was working is there was a hallway that you can see through another person, each other's classes. So both teachers could see that we were in different classes, and they knew that we were not the same person. So they were like, all right, like, go back to your class. And like his teacher is like, hey, like, you're not supposed to be in this class, like, go back to your class. But in my mind the whole time I was like, nope, my mom said that I had to stay in this class. So she was like, so I'm sitting there telling the teacher I can't leave. And they were like, yes, you can, like, go to your class. And I was like, no, my mom said I got to stay in this class. So I'm staying in this class. Keep in mind, wherever the twin magic or twin telepathy comes into, he's on the other side telling my teacher the exact same thing. Like, I can't leave this class.
That is hilarious. She's a real prankster. That's where you got your little funny bone from.
No. So then the teacher, so they were like, leave this class right now, or you're going to the principal's office. And I was like, I'm not leaving this class. And so she was like, fine, I'm taking you to the principal's office. So when she says that she's taking me to the principal's office, I bolt. I literally ran out the classroom. And at the same time, my teacher was telling my twin that he was going to have to go to the principal's office. He did the same thing. He bolted. So we both bolted and like met up with each other and just like looked, like kind of like locked up. Like, all right, if we stay together, they can't like take us. And they took us, one of the teachers took both of us to the principal's office. Keep in mind, my aunt, luckily for her, she's showing up, dropping off my nephew, or not my nephew, but my cousin. And she sees both of us going to the office, and they're like, she's like, what's going on? And like the teacher's telling them, oh yeah, like they won't go to each other's classes. And we're telling my aunt, no, my mom said that we had to go to each other's like different class, and we had to stay there for the day. So that's
or you gonna get your ass whooped.
Probably. And we just did that. And she was like, yeah, no, like, I don't know what's going on. But we go to the principal's office, my mom gets called, and then like the principal tells like what happens, and my mom the whole time is just like, I never told them to do that.
I don't know why these boys would do that.
So,
but did she yes or no?
Yeah, she did.
Like, why would I do some dumb?
Hey, to this day, she will never admit it. But like, where we get the idea from?
That's true. That's
where
true.
Where do we get the idea from? So,
were you at that point more scared of the principal or your mom?
My mom, of course. What is the principal gonna do?
A black family.
What's the principal gonna do? Like, no,
got a whooping coming to your ass.
No, we weren't. I mean, we weren't scared that we were gonna get a whooping. I think we just were confused as like, why would she tell us to go to like different class? I think she told us to go just to see like if we liked the other classroom. Like that was just basically
she
it.
could have easily explained that
she
to y'all.
She could have explained it, but she didn't. She you know what? She let us in. When I tell you, me and my twin, we died with that. we died with that theory. Like till this day, we still tell her the same thing. It's like she'll never say that she did that. So, but
I want to talk about the comedy scene in Bakersfield. Do you think? Talk to me about it in general. Where it stands out now? Do you think it's grown? Do you like it? Do you like the crowds? Like, talk to me about the comedy scene in Bakersfield in general.
Okay, so it's the scene in Bakersfield has grown greatly since I first started. Because when I first started, we didn't have a scene. We had.
Would you say you started the scene?
No?
Like
Well,
bottle service?
no, I wouldn't say I started the scene. I would say that I just because when I started comedy, I started when I was 20, like 2021. And when I say we had a scene, like it was more like comics, like big name comics would come through, like and like perform at this place that used to be called like the Red Lion. It's a DoubleTree now, but it used to be called the Red Lion. So people like comedy was a lot different back then. Because usually when comics would come, they were coming as like an opener for a music act. Or another place like a lot of people did comedy at was this place called Fish Lips. At the time, it was called Fish Lips. Now it's basically the Well. And
Wait, that's a place that got stolen? That the
the place got stolen?
no, the sign got stolen. Is that Fish Lips?
So it was a lot of things. It's been Fish Lips. It's been Sharkies. It's been
No, but do you remember there was a place that was famous? Someone stole the big. I think it was Fish Lips, but I thought that was in Oildale. Someone stole the
Trouts.
sign. That's okay.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Trouts.
Okay, never mind.
So
I'm tripping.
yeah, you're talking about Trouts. But when I say yeah, no, when I started and it was no scene, but then like I said, it was people trying to start the scene. Like not even really a scene, they were just trying to bring comedy to Bakersfield. Like so the first night I did it was like it wasn't even an open mic. It was basically like I opened for like another comedy show like at the Red Lion and basically did that. And then after that, there wasn't really shows
Consistently.
Like, yeah, there wasn't really shows consistently. Like people would put on comedy shows, but like I said, they were already booked. There was no open mics really. I mean, you could go to Fish Lips and do time, but it was basically like a mixture. Like you were doing like a traditional open mic where it was people doing singing and people doing like poems or just like other things and rock bands and stuff like that. There was really rarely like comedy. But then starting towards like 2008, 2009, maybe 2010, like people started doing like open mics at Fish Lips or open mics at Rocket Shop or just open mics wherever people could do them. And then they would do shows like basically at the Nile or like anywhere that a venue would let them do it. So there was a small scene that started off and there was like a small group of people that would like do shows. But now it's like in the past like decade, it's blown up into where, yes, there is a scene here. And then, yes, we have a small group of comics. They're starting to grow. Like, cause for a long time there was it was a small group, but it was more like maybe a strong, like 8 or 9. But now it's probably, I think the Bakersfield comedy scene probably has maybe like 20, 25 like solid Bakersfield comedians and stuff. Not to mention the ones that like come from Fresno or Visalia or from LA areas and stuff, or Wasco and like Shafter and other places. Cause now comedy is like different. Like the scene has populated in
a good way or bad way?
In a great way, because like I said, when I got started, like it was hard. It was hard to find time, let alone like it was really even harder for me to find time because basically I had to like for a while like had to just like do it myself because nobody really wanted to. Like, I wouldn't say nobody wanted to book me. It was just like kind of like, oh, because like how you said, like before, it was just like I kept to myself. Or I was like busy, like just still living life. And people were starting to do shows, but like they would do it around like the circle of friends that they had. So basically, like if I came in, it was like, oh, like, well, he doesn't really speak. But then when he goes on stage,
he's a mute.
He performs. So
talk to okay. So when I've heard comedians on other podcasts or on YouTube or whatever, they talk about like a good comedy city. Like some people say like the Midwest is really good. Some people say like Miami's really bad. Like the better than it just depends. How where does Bakersfield land in that? Are we considered like a good comedy city, or is it kind of a tougher crowd? Or talk to me about that.
Crowd wise, I would say Bakersfield is it just depends. Like because there's been times there's been like stretches where Bakersfield is a tough crowd, but they're a tough crowd for a reason. They're a tough crowd because it's like Bakersfield is big on like, if I paid to be here, you better give me the greatest show I've ever paid for. But then also there's times where it's like, oh, like, you know, like I'm just trying to get out of the house, so I'll laugh at anything. Yeah. And stuff. So it just depends. It's really, really hit or miss.
Do you know immediately when a crowd is going to be good, or do you feel them out, or do you like test the waters?
You know a crowd is going to be good immediately. Basically right before you grow up. Like if the person before you didn't do like that well, but you knew their material like is normally pretty solid, then you know, like, all right, you're kind of in for a rough night. You're gonna have to like, you know, just kind of like do extra to like kind of bring them out of their shell, because like I said, Bakersfield is very like it's hard for openers and features because basically they didn't come see you. Like, I'm not here to see you, so I'm not really going to pay attention to you unless you're extremely good and you extremely get my attention. Now, if you're a headliner, you can go up there and read the phone book.
For real. People, yeah, that's real. I've noticed
that. That is the most hilarious thing ever because they paid to come see you. So they already know what they're expecting or what they wanted to see when they get there. Oh, yeah. Also, like, it's hard for Bakersfield comedians sometimes because like you're performing in front of family and friends, people that know you.
That could be a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it could be because like if they know you, I'm not gonna laugh at you just because I know you. You better like actually be good because I gotta tell people if you weren't good, or like if people see me and know that I know you. Like they're gonna come up to me afterwards, like, "Hey man, like your cousin or your friend or something like that. Like, ain't that your friend? Yeah." It's like, yo, like they weren't really that good. Tough. Yeah. So, or they'll sit there and be like, "Yo, that's your friend?" Like, yo, they was killing it. They killed it tonight, man. You need to go watch it more. So,
has there ever been a joke that you're just like, "Oh boy, that almost got you in some trouble"?
Has there ever been a joke that's ever? Yeah, all the time. Like there's
because I will say this, you do really good with crowd work too. You have like a written material. I can't even tell what's written or what's like just off the spot. I feel like you've done it long enough to where you can go up there with a kind of a set, but you can kind of feel the crowd and then kind of pivot off of that and see what they're into. Has there ever been a time where you're doing some crowd work and then you're like, ooh, yeah, these fellas are going to try to find me in the parking lot?
Oh, yeah. It happens all the time because sometimes you'll like some people that do crowd work, or I've had it happen where I was talking about somebody and then they're talking back, but then you have to like kind of control the situation. But sometimes when you control it, they don't really like that. Cause I'll tell somebody real quick, this isn't your time. This is my time. Like this isn't your time to shine. You didn't come, like nobody came to see you. They all came to see the person on stage and you're not on the stage. But then some people feel a certain way and like they want to sit there and talk to you afterwards about it. Or if they really intoxicated, like
that's big
like,
right there. Yeah,
you can do that, and then they'll come see you. Like I remember one time when I like early on, I didn't even know that I was like treating this dude like the way he felt like I was disrespecting him. I was just sitting there really talking back to him and answering his questions. And then I think I said like, oh, so he's going to be going home by himself tonight. And like everybody was laughing at him, but now they're embarrassed because everybody's laughing at him. So now he tried to come on stage and shake my hand. Well, basically he tried to act like he was shaking my hand, but he was basically going to grab me and pull me off stage and like try and body slam me. But luckily, like there was other people in the way and I kind of knew what he was doing. And I was like, I'm not going to shake your hand and stuff. But like other than that, there's not, there hasn't really been times because I don't think I'm really that rude to people. But I did have a girl one time in a club back when it was, not 1933, but back when it was called, I think, like Prohibition or something like that.
Right.
I did have a girl in the club one time. Like my friend introduced me to her, and she was like, "I know who you are. Fuck you." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, no, like you did a show and you made fun of me. Like I went to the bathroom and you told everybody I was like going to take a number two." And had everybody laughing at me. You go kill yourself and stuff. And I was like, oh, like, and I had to tell her, like, hey, it's just part of the show. My bad. And she was like, nah, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Forget you.
You know, one thing I'm really interested in, and this is just me I'm a huge fan of comedy. I'm a huge fan of comedy. Talk to me about building a joke. I guess it's a two-part question. One, do you prefer like written, like a well-written, well-performed joke, or do you prefer just kind of playing off the crowd? And second of all, the second part of that question is, how do you build the joke? Like, what's the most important part of a joke to you?
Well, I tell a lot of younger comics, like, try not to do as much crowd work as possible, because once you start doing crowd work, you never, like, you're going to just do that. That's your MO. And it's basically going to take away from you writing. Like when I first started, I think a year before I first started doing comedy, I wrote in a notebook, like, and I still have the notebook somewhere to this day. Like, but I wrote a full notebook before I went on stage. I wrote a whole notebook full of jokes because I thought like at the time, I thought like, oh, you had to write and had to like, and it was very detailed, very structured. Like I was literally writing like the joke, where to pause at, where to like kind of end or wait for like applause and everything.
See, I love that though. Like,
yeah, I wrote that. But then I think like I want to say like probably more like starting in like 2012, I like would go to open mics and just kind of like just riff, and I would do pretty well. So I was like, oh, I can just go up here and just like talk. Cause I treat comedy like it's just like you're having a conversation with somebody. Cause I can tell, like people tell me all the time, like, I don't know how you do it. Like I can't go and do comedy and stand and tell jokes in front of people. I was like, well, you're funny when you're just talking to people, right? And they'd be like, yeah. And I'll say, it's just the same. Like you're just having a conversation with somebody and you're telling them a story, but you're just telling it in a room full of people with a microphone. And so, when you're writing, like sometimes you can get too structured into the joke. Like you'll go on stage and say it, but you'll say it exactly how you were writing it. So it takes away kind of the emotion, I guess, a little bit from it.
Absolutely.
But if you just going up there, because like that's a big thing right now with comedy is like people, like a lot of people like doing crowd work or like going to shows where comics are doing crowd work, but comics don't really like when they see comics just going up there for 45 minutes just doing crowd work, because it kind of feels like you're like cheating. You're not really telling your own stories, or you're not really telling your own material. So that's why I say I like to mix it where I am telling what like I basically wrote down or like structure, but also like you can't stop people from wanting to be a part of the show now. So you have to add like crowd work in there. You just got to find your mixture, your niche to where like you can do both, because once you stop writing, like you'll never write again, like because you just won't have the energy.
You feel like you found a life hack. You're like, oh man, I was spending all this time writing the damn joke when I could just do this. Is kind of a shortcut to it.
Yeah.
So talk to me about building a joke, like the structure of a joke, and when you know it's good.
Well, it starts with the idea. Like if you basically it's basically like doing any type of other forms of entertainment, whether it's writing a script or like writing a novel. You start with an idea. You start with basically, okay, I thought this was funny and like I gotta structure it like in this way. Or usually if you're going on life experience, it'd be an experience that you guys had.
I was just gonna ask that. Is it like, do you put like something in your notebook? You're like, that just happened. I was at a restaurant. Let me write that down and I'll come back to it later.
Well, good thing I'm good with memory. So like I kind of remember like every situation kind of like moment by moment and stuff. So like I'm good with like basically like, okay, like I remember this is what happened. I remember this is what the person said. So let's write it out like this. And then I'll read it and look back at it like, all right, I can change this, this, and this. Cause you can over exaggerate a lot when you're a comic. Like, cause a lot of people don't know like what you're about to talk about. They don't know the story. They weren't there. So now they're just waiting on you to tell the story. But you can tell the story as fucking outrageous as you want to. Like even if it doesn't sound true, if you make it sound true, then it's true to the people that just told the story to. So you write that, get the structure in, read it back, look at it, and like kind of just like, all right, cool. Like I can change this, this, and this, and go on stage and say it. But it takes a lot. Like, and then on top of that, it's not even just like writing a joke. You also have to like pace yourself, because you can't just go up there and read what you wrote like word for word, because you'll go too fast. You'll basically just be like, oh yeah, so hey guys, like how many people are here about Trump? All right, wait for hand claps. And okay, now, all right, everybody, like, yeah, man, I didn't vote for Trump, but like I know a lot of people in this room, like point them out, and you're really saying this like because you wrote it down like that. But the more you get into comedy, the more you start doing it, you learn that like, okay, like you got to space it. Like, hey, like how many people in here voted for Trump? All right, that many people. Okay, like, yeah, I didn't vote for Trump, and this is why. And then you go into your details and go into your pause, and it's a lot better than just being all over the place.
I like starting it like that too, where it's like you hit them with a fucking bomb, and then you just got them up against the wall, and now they're yours. Now they're just like, oh, where's he taking this? And,
yeah, because most people that go to a comedy show, and most people, everybody that goes to a comedy show, like as hard as it to believe, they want to laugh.
You go for a good time. Yes,
they're not
absolutely.
They're going to hear comedy. They're not going just like, yo, I got drug out of the house, so I need somebody to like tell me something. Like, because a lot of the times you'll hear comics, like the biggest misconception is, oh, like the crowd, they're not here for comedy. Like they're not really here to listen to my stuff. That could be the case, that like, oh, like they're not here to listen to you. They're here to listen to whoever was the headliner or whoever invited them. Like, especially in Bakersfield, because you have to work with, like, a lot of the times it's like, yo, I'm only here. And it's not just comedy. It's just in general. I'm not here for you. I'm here for somebody else. So when somebody else comes on stage, then I'll pay attention. Other than that, I'm going to just drink at the bar or anything. So
that's crazy. Let me ask you this. How do you feel about, I've heard mixed reviews on these open mics. Do you find them beneficial, or do you find it at this point in your career, it's a little, not necessarily you don't need it, but like it doesn't really help as much?
It just depends on like the type of comedian you are, because open mics are very, very valuable. I think the business of open mic, probably needs to be changed a little bit, but because a lot of people use like open mics as basically as like a really crazy business opportunity. But if you're a comic and you're young, if you're like still in your first 5 or 6 years, probably go to every open mic that you can, but don't have like any expectations. Like you're not going to be discovered. Like you're not going to be discovered in the way that you think. Like, cause a lot of people, I was the same way. The first, like, man, when I tell you the first year I started doing comedy, I thought like you just go anywhere to any hole in the wall and somebody is going to find you and put you on HBO and make your whole HBO comedy special. And you're just going to start selling out like all over. And it's not like that at all. It's a huge grind, but it's worth it. Like open mics though, like there's a lot of comics that go to open mics, but basically it's like a hangout. Like, and if it's just a hangout for you, just treat it like a hangout. Don't like go and like basically try and like go to an open mic just to like let everybody know that you're a veteran comedian. It's like, oh, well, I did this, and this. And like, you're just sitting there in the back, like watching everybody set and judging.
Nobody gives a fuck. Yeah.
But no, just like going back and judging, like you're just judging. But if you like open mics now, like they're very beneficial to a lot of comics. Cause like even now more more people are, especially in Bakersfield, like when you do open mic, there's actually people there. Like for a long time when we was doing open mics or going to open mics, there was nobody there, just us. Like you're just telling jokes to your comedy buddies.
And they're just there because they got a turn coming up in 20 minutes.
Yeah, you got to wait and stuff. And then, but that's just like the cool thing about the scene growing, because now, like, I mean, like I said, like in the beginning when Bakersfield was kind of getting established as a scene, like I said, there was only like 8 of us, maybe 10 of us. Probably all of us could fit in one car, like that were like basically like active. And like, yeah, when you do open mic and it's only like 8 people in your scene, you're not gonna get a lot of people. But now that the scene's like kind of growing, and now that we got like a comedy club, and then we got more comics or more people actually interested in like doing comedy, and actually and also like Bakersfield grew. Like Bakersfield grew
Just,
into like
yeah,
a
population,
like a popular city. So like people go out more. And we grew. So now like open mics are being attended by people that like actually want to go and listen. So yeah, it works, especially if you have material that you want to get out. Yeah, an open mic would help, especially, but also like what I tell a lot of comics too when they're at open mics, because it is an open mic. So you're getting like basically people are just there just to be there, or like they're kind of there to listen to comedy, but like I said, don't think somebody's going to make your career. So sometimes like with comics, they'll go and do a joke at an open mic and feel like it didn't do well at open mic, and then you'll never hear the joke ever again. But it's a good joke. And the reason why you put this joke into your repertoire is because you thought it was funny at first. Like every joke or every idea that anybody ever comes up with is a good idea, like
right.
in their eyes. It starts off as like the greatest, funniest thing that they've ever come up with. It's just time and repetition kind of dwindles it down and makes it like in their eyes like a bad joke, so they don't want to tell it anymore. But
is there something that like you wish people knew about the comedy, like a misconception or like a negative or a positive about comedy in general? Like, is there something that you wish people knew about comedy, or if you were trying to pitch someone to come out
to a show?
Yeah.
You're definitely getting your money's worth, because the Bakersfield low key, our scene doesn't really get the respect that it should, like, because I mean we're in between like LA and San Francisco and like other amazing cities. So those are all legendary scenes, but Bakersfield does have we do have a lot of comics that like can probably go like toe for toe with all these comics that you see on TV and in other areas. And we have like a bunch of comics that have come out of Bakersfield and done well in other areas and stuff. I think like highlighted by so we had this there's one comic, Bruce Gray, who basically started in Bakersfield and came from out of nowhere, and then moved to LA and started doing stuff at the Comedy Store, and now he's like signed by an agency and he's like doing shows and then doing Just for Laughs. We have another comic that's actually doing pretty well for himself on social media, because that's also like that came with the change of the times.
Yeah.
So like a lot of comics, like, cause I was like one of the last to like even think like social media was actually like a viable thing. And we have like a bunch of comics that go on social media that do sketches all the time, like Chris Flail, Joe Alanis, even like the owner of The Well, like Daniel Betts. He goes and does sketches from time to time, and it helps with their popularity. And now they're doing shows all over basically the West Coast. And we also have other comics that like are basically out now that, you know, like people know around town. Like when you ask people like, oh, like, you know, like what kind of comedy or who are some of the comics in Bakersfield, they'll say this one light-skinned guy named K. Mitch, or they'll say a guy named Demarie Johnson, or one of our only female black comedians, Tiffany Belt. They had like a whole group for a while that was very popular. And they started off all like, they just got together as like comics because they were all like started out at the same time. And then they started doing videos, and the videos started getting popular. And then they started doing the shows, and shows started selling out. And then they went off and branched off to do their own thing, kind of like a Wu-Tang situation. But now all of them are working comics, like doing shows, like, and doing like films and doing all kinds of things all over Bakersfield and Vegas and everywhere else. So.
Well, I appreciate the time that you've given us. I know we're running out of time here on the camera, but before you get out of here, remind everybody where they're going to find you, where they can find your information.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so like I'm at Comic Tyson Paul
on
and
Instagram.
Then, our company, We Own the Laughs, is basically you can find it on Instagram or any social media at We Own the Laughs. There is an S at the end of laughs because it's a plural, because we want more than one person to laugh. But yeah, no, we definitely got to do a part 2 about this, because definitely there's a lot of questions I can already tell that you wanted to ask about the scene and just in comedy in general. So definitely want to do this again. We got to make a part 2.
Absolutely. Let's make it happen. And we're going to, I know you got some shows coming up, but get all that information at weownthelaughs.com. Thank you for coming on, Tyson, and I appreciate the time that you gave us.
It only took 2 years. And
it took 2 years and a blowjob. That's it.
Nope, I'm not doing that. I'm not.
We are great over here.
I'm not doing that. Not.
Thank y'all for tuning in. This is Podcast Tour Stop number 4. Look at that. You see that? Mm-hmm. Battery just died. Podcast Tour Stop number 4. We can still record. We can actually keep this thing going for forever.
You know what? Let's do a bonus episode for Spotify.
This is just for the Spotify listeners. All right, now take your clothes off. Now that the camera's off.
No, you know what?
Let's do that thing that you were doing before we.
Nope. We already established that you're very fluid and I'm not. So, so no.
Can I ask you one more thing? Actually, this will be like a bonus for the Spotify.
Okay.
We'll give it another couple extra minutes now that I did want to have the send off so we can have that to clip out.
Okay.
But we can do this off camera. Now we can just kind of look at each other in the eyes and just have this conversation.
Okay.
Give me the best. I've been asking everybody on this podcast tour what the best and the worst part is about what you do.
Oh, okay. Well, the best part is the laughs, like making an audience laugh.
Is there, like, I'm not a comedian. I will never consider myself a comedian, but I'll tell you something.
Funny.
There is nothing like making people laugh. There's something really like beautiful and fulfilling and like addicting about that.
Yes.
So I agree with you there.
Yes. The best part is the laughter. I would say the worst part of it is the misunderstanding of the business side. Like, because people, like, there's so much that goes into a successful comedy show. And there's even so much that goes into a show that does not do well. So the misunderstanding of the business side, because everybody just thinks like, oh, like every comedy show that you do is like just like magically like packed out. They don't understand that you got to do this, and this, and you're basically an entrepreneur. You are an entrepreneur, but you're basically like everything falls on you. You have to make sure everything is right, and then when it goes wrong, you can't blame other people. Like you have to take the blame yourself, because at the end of the day, it's all like up to you. Like when a show doesn't go well, they're not gonna blame the
comedians or anybody.
Yeah, they're not gonna blame a venue or anything like that. They're just gonna say you failed. And so when the show goes well, everybody else takes credit.
It's like a quarterback in the NFL. It's like you gotta be,
but you gotta be okay with everybody else taking credit for it and everything. Like actually, like the funniest thing I realize right now is you'll put a show together and it's a great show, and the comics don't acknowledge the person that put the show on. They just think about themselves and then just write on like social media like, oh my God, like killed it at this place tonight. They don't even thank people. They just like all these people came out to see me. And you have to, I mean, as a comic, for some people, you have to fake it till you make it. You have to sit there and basically say like, oh, I had all these people coming out, because like people take what they see on social media like to heart. Like I'm sure if whatever you post, or if you posted right now on social media that this podcast gets 1 million views, and you had like a whole Spotify like link, or not a link, but a whole Spotify photo that showed that, oh, this week got 1 million views. even if
Not
everybody-
happening with your ass, but
Yeah.
you know.
even if, well, you could post it. You could fake it till you make it. Because even like I've seen comics do this. Like they'll post a video on social media or on YouTube, say that the video got 800,000 views, and you can go to that same video and see that it's only 48 views. But since people saw it on social media that it had 1 million views or 800,000 views, they're gonna tell them, "Oh, congratulations! Like, can't wait.
You did it, man! Congratulations!"
They'll be in the comments. Can't wait to see the next episode.
I knew you when you were getting 48 downloads. Actually, still there.
They would.
That is another part of it too, where it's like, okay, so I kind of want to get back on that. So you're talking about the business side, the back end. What is it? Are you talking about like building the website, getting people to come out, inviting
all
local influencers? Like that's the work part, man.
Yeah,
I know you're grinding at it.
Yeah, no, and then because I mean, and it's funny how like you have radio experience. I think like a lot of comics. Like now, if you want to be successful in this business, there's levels and like different programs that you have to go through first before you become successful. And one of them I think every comic should do is radio. Like I like sat there and basically, I wouldn't say I interned for Danny Hill, but basically I had to like work with Danny Hill for like, I think like 3 or 4 years. But I learned so much about radio and how it transitions over to like events and how you like basically put everything together or put like interviews together and stuff. So I know that like basically like comics need, if you want to work on your stage presence or you want to work on like how to polish your set or polish how you like talk to people, you have to do radio. Like do radio and learn that. And even like if you want to go to an improv class, like go to an improv class. Even if you don't want to do improv, just like do it because you know you'll learn about timing. You'll learn about basically working with other people, and like actually you'll learn a lot about crowd work from improv. So
can I tell you why I agree with that? So I did radio for 5+ years, you know, and I'm very like, one thing that I took a lot of pride in was my preparation when it came to interviews, preparation when it came to nightly show prep. Like, what am I going to talk about? What am I getting? And that comes in 1.5, anywhere from 30 seconds to 1.5 minute bits. So what does that mean? I have to look at the world and I have to look at what happened and I have to try to be funny. I would explain this to people like, shut up, you're stupid, you're not a comedian. And I'll be like, but you got to understand that if you want to be entertaining and you have to look at the world different.
Yeah.
You almost are a comedian writing material every single day. And because the world has new news every single day, guess what? I'm going to be relevant. I'm going to be this. So to me, that was kind of a natural, like, that's why I was gravitated towards. I'm like, I feel like I write this stuff, or I think I'm constantly thinking about this stuff, and so much of it can translate to comedy. So I completely agree with you there.
Definitely, because radio, I think, is a big, like, if you're trying to like basically work on your personality, or I mean, work on like basically promotion, because radio is like still. I mean, it's not like what it used to be where people like literally listen to the radio or like focusing or going to anything because the radio said so, but it's still like one of the top 3
big time
marketing needs that you need for an event and stuff. Because I learned like how to talk to people on social media through radio, like because like you learn how to like do scripts, you learn how to like basically, all right, you need to attract somebody within 15 seconds. So you need to tell these people like, hey.
And nowadays it's even less. It's like 3 to 7 seconds.
Yeah. You have to start off, because like I used to be like, when it came to promoting a show or something like that, I was very long-winded. Like I would write like this long paragraph on like why you should come. And like then like I started doing like radio and then started doing other things. And like I learned that like, oh, you have to narrow this down to like 5 seconds and stuff, and it works.
Yep, cut out all the crap that you don't need, and you'd be surprised. And you're like, okay, read it to me, and then they're like, all right, can you take out this, and this? Are you still delivering the same message? Okay, keep it shorter. Shorter the better.
Yes. Yeah.
Is there any last words you want to say to our audience before you head out of here?
I think Vic should do more comedy because I like how his persona and basically the way he works a crowd on stage and works a crowd just when he's not doing comedy is amazing. So he should do comedy more.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
About the last show.
Yeah.
So I hosted your last show.
Yes.
And one thing, so I went up there and I was prepped and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be up there doing blank, blank, and blank. And I had no idea that there was going to be 10 minutes of my time.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to freak you out, and I didn't want you to be like, oh my God, like who did I just fucking hire to do this? Okay, but listen, let me walk you through that night. So I get there and I'm like, I'm hosted. I could host the shit out of anything. You need a wedding, a fight, a Hard Rock, a car giveaway. It doesn't matter. I could host. I got that locked in. And then they're like, and Caesar was telling me, he was like, all right, you're going to go up there. You're going to do 10 minutes. And I was like, well, hold up, 10 minutes. And I was like, in my head, I had a couple, like I had one like good solid joke that might have taken 2 to 3 minutes. The one about the kids at school. Yeah. And I was like, okay, just in case they need a little filler, but I didn't know that there was an expectation of 10 minutes. So I don't know if you remember the Awala joke. Yeah. Like I took my Awala up there to have it, and I just went off that. I was just like, that was like on the spot. And low key, I was so proud of that because I was like, he needed me to eat a little bit more time. I don't think I got to 10 minutes, but I was like, you're like, no, motherfucker.
Nah.
but I was so proud of the fact that like, I was able to, take that Awala situation and then you just kind of come up with something and then you're like, but now I think that Awala joke has legs. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh yeah, let me pretend to be sucking the straw and then we can go like there. But
it does start. So comics, like the thing about comedy is like comics, the first like 6 years or so, you don't know timing. Like you think you were up there for 10 minutes, but it really was like 3 minutes.
Absolutely.
Like, cause I remember the very first time I did comedy, like I was only supposed to be up there for 3 minutes. And like, I think I was up there literally for 10 minutes. I was only supposed to be up there for 3. And when I tell you, like, they were like, you don't know anything about timing. They were like, yo, you was only supposed to be up there for 3 minutes. But remember, I thought, like, this is my first time. I thought, like, somebody was going to discover me and I was going to be on HBO with a comedy special, like, that night. And, like, I let every joke I had. Like,
you unloaded the clip, baby.
Yeah, they were like, nah, man, you got to learn how to do 3 minutes. Like 3 minutes. Like take like first of all, sit down and time yourself. Cause I had to, and if you go to college and you learn anything about statistics, there's a part of the class where they make you time yourself to see how long you thought a minute was or how long you thought 5 minutes was. And it's longer than I thought. But then when you're up there, it could be quicker. Sometimes it just varies.
It does. Well, we're definitely going to have you back on. I definitely want to have you. I feel like there's so many layers to every conversation. And maybe next time I don't even do any show prep. We just bullshit and we just talk about, we'll get C's on here and then
No, we definitely got to talk about entrepreneurs and relationships. That's
and the transition from bottle girl to real estate.
Yeah, well, like bottle girls, I guess bottle girls is a form of entrepreneurship.
It is. Hey, everything could be if you do it the right way or the wrong way.
I mean, there's, like I said, there's a lot of questions we want to ask. I want to ask you guys and stuff because, like I said, you guys are, you guys are younger than me. So, like, basically, there's a lot of things that I want to know from this generation because I know how our generation was, but like this generation is like completely different, and like the way you guys go about.
We eat ass, brother. I don't know about y'all.
That's weird. That's that's weird. But then also, like, I mean, I guess if they accept it, so they accept it.
They accept it and they do it back. Hey, thank you so much for coming on, Tyson. I appreciate you having time. We're gonna do it again. Once again, if you guys are listening and tuning in for Tyson, please check out the podcast on Spotify at ILY Say It Back Pod. Y'all be good. Have a great night. Sleep good. Que sueñen los angelitos. I love you. Say it back. Follow Tyson. Follow the podcast everywhere at Tyson Paul Comic. Y'all have a great night. Peace. We went a solid hour. Perfect.